Yo guys, what's going on? Ace is here today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about containers and cases, and we're going to be giving you guys a full entire guide here on what cases to pick up at the beginning of wipe. This is all going to be for 12.11. So this is being recorded in 12.10, just letting you know none of the prices that you see on screen are going to be relevant in 12.11 because all the prices are going to be skyrocketing because cases are very, very important at the beginning of a wipe. But at this point, man, I think it is very, very much needed for a wipe, and I'm very, very excited to bring you guys a ton of content in 12.11. Let's hop into it, man. So we're going to be talking about cases here today. Now, we are actually missing a couple cases here on the case screen, so hopefully I don't forget, but we're missing the sick case and the thick items case. The regular thick items cases have been completely bought out. Everybody has been buying them because they went down a lot in price, and now there's just none on the market. It's that point in wipe where not too many people are doing that task to get that reward. So here we are. We're going to be going straight down the list, and I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions, thoughts, all that on what cases are best to have, their situational value, and what barters, trades, crafts, whatever it may be, pick some of these cases up are probably more efficient than just buying them off the fleet. So I do want to say, before we really get into it, you're going to need a marked key for most of these. If you can afford the marked key, it's going to save you a shit ton of rubles in the course of the first couple weeks in wipe. The sooner you get the marked key, the sooner you can hit customs dorms over and over, start farming cases, and that's a lot more people that aren't even going to be thinking about going to dorms in that first week of wipe because they're going to be doing that task. So they're going to be going for the pocket watch. They're going to be going for scav kills. They're going to be doing all this shit on customs, and they're not going to be worrying about the dorms in the first 3 days. If you get a marked key in the first 3 days, you're going to get a shit ton of cases, have that advantage over everybody, and you're going to be that much richer than everyone else. So marked key is the most important item in the first 3 days of wipe. Farm some jackets, get to level 10, buy it off the flea market for 500,000 rubles, just invest it, it'll be worth it, and you'll be good to go. So, ammo cases. At the beginning of a wipe, you'll see these ammo cases probably go up to 400,000 rubles, possibly 500, possibly 600. It'll decline very rapidly within the first couple of days, so if you can afford to, wait a couple days and take an ammo case for 200k cheaper, then go for it. If you need it desperately, go for it. But these will be so common in Marked Room. This is one of those items that I don't really care about buying. The barter for it now is rendered useless. Before, it was 5 kites and 2 eagles, both gunpowder, if you guys are unaware. But now it is 2 thermites and 2 eagles, and that is just not a good trade for the ammo case. It's just simply not. So, not a bit of loading issue here, but this is your eagle gunpowder, and this is going to be your thermite. The trade is just not efficient right now. I don't think the thermite is worth the ammo case unless you put it in your container and you're not using it for any other barters, not using it for any other crafts, anything like that. Then maybe you consider if it's not found in raid. But found in raid thermite is going to be worth an absolute shit ton. So at this rate, I probably wouldn't consider the ammo case at all when it comes to bartering. Buying it off the flea market, I don't remember what you have to do to get mechanic to unlock it. So if you can purchase it from him for 182, that's a pretty damn good price. But buying it off the flea market for 500, 600k just isn't going to be worth it. So, ammo, you can just buy from traders. You don't have to stock up your stash. You can sell that ammo. I wouldn't recommend an ammo case early on. DOS cases are extremely important, probably your best friend in the first week of wipe. Since you're not going to have a sick case yet, you're not going to have that Jaeger max loyalty, I think it is. Documents cases are the next best thing. And I honestly, if you had 2 of them and you have an EOD account, I would put 2 of these in your gamma. And the reason for that is to put one with all your keys and another one to have available for diaries, journals, technical documents for intel and flash drives and SAS drives, all that stuff that can fit in docs cases that is super important. I would highly recommend doing that. And the next thing is going to be the dog tag case. It is greatly paired up with the docs case. You can make a lot of cash, extra cash, by having one of these on you. You find them in Marked Room pretty commonly. Out of a 25 use key, you can probably expect 2 or 3 docs cases, and you can throw them in your gamma. So it is a pretty much guaranteed case. I would highly recommend you try to farm marked for a docs case. These at the beginning of wipe will be well over 1 million rubles, probably hovering around 1.3, 1.2 range. So not worth picking one up. Farm marked, buy the marked key, be good to go. Dog tag case. 400,000 is usually what they sell for. Even at the beginning of wipe, you'll see dog tag cases maybe around 500,000 rubles. They will not go up that much. So once you hit level 10, if you desperately need one, if there's too many tags in your stash, go ahead and buy one. You find them in Marked Room pretty commonly. I'd say out of a 25 use key, you'll find about 3 to 4 of them, maybe even more if you're really lucky. But they're very, very common and marked. It's not something I'd ever buy. And that's just my opinion on it. I don't think you're going to need one too early on in wipe. You're not going to really be killing that many PMCs right away. Empty wallets, one of the best items in the game, actually, if used correctly. You can actually have a couple rigs in the game that take up less space when it comes to giving you more pockets and more places to put more cash when it comes to efficiency with the money case. So, empty wallets at the beginning of a wipe might sell for 40,000 rubles, and at that point, it's rendered inefficient. But if you need a couple of them, I would just buy them. You'll find them on scavs eventually, but they're a really nice item to have for your first couple million rubles that you need to put away and just take up less space. And if you get a key card or something too, you want to put that somewhere, it's a great thing to have. Wallets are, a really nice item to have early game. So, it's kind of one of those mid-tier ones. Buy one if you want. If you don't need it, you don't need it. The grenade case. You probably only need one of these at the beginning of wipe, and if you get to loyalty level 3 quickly with Jaeger, then you'll actually find yourself profiting on the grenade case trade. Typically, the items, the hunter matches, repellent, and the survival lighters will actually all be cheaper than the grenade case quick sell price. So every single restock, you can go ahead and profit on one if you didn't want to use it. But the grenade case, you can probably find yourself buying for around 200,000 rubles with the Jaeger trade. So, keep your eyes out for those items. Hold them in a lucky scav junk box if you got one. If you do not have a scav junk box at that time of you trying to get a grenade case, I would just hold off on it. It's not worth all the extra hassle. There is a trade for it, and I mean a craft for it. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about the crafts after we get through the flea market here and just kind of the discussion of it. But grenade case, there is a craft for it, which I'd probably want to do that, honestly, if you're playing a lot. So grenade case is kind of meh. You're only going to need one of them for the first 2 weeks of wipe. You won't need more than that. And honestly, throughout an entire wipe, you might only need 2 grenade cases max, depending on how many nades you're buying. Next, item case. Me personally, this is completely my opinion only. I think it's the worst case in the game, most useless case in the game. Now, there are a couple barters for it. We're going to go over those now, actually. But the items case, I think, is actually one of the worst items in the game because the thick items case is probably one of the best items in the game. This one, you're not getting much space with. As you can see, this is all you're getting. And we're going to do a quick comparison to the thick items case, which you get an entire standard stash worth of space for. So, the items case at 15,000 euros isn't really an efficient buy for me. I've never liked them. Now, when you could stack items cases inside of each other, it was extremely efficient. That was, I think, 2 wipes ago in 12.3 or something. But you can't do that anymore, and it has rendered the items cases essentially useless. So, I wouldn't recommend this one. Go for your own, whatever you want to do, but not for me, man. Now, coming down here into the barters. 20 scopes and 15 piles of meds. The piles of meds are actually pretty damn useful for making some meds you need. And finding 20 of these is going to be a bit difficult. You could save up for it, but I just wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend it. It's just my personal opinion. Once again, it's just a lot of work for an item case, and I don't think it's worth it. We have the 150 level 17 dog tags. Now, if this was like level 7, it would be different because at the beginning of wipe, the first week, you'll have a decent amount of level 10s, but you're not going to have that many level 17s. And that's going to be the problem there. It's just going to be coming too late at your progression point. By then, 2-3 weeks in a wipe when you're going to be finding a shitload of level 17s, you're going to already have a thick case, if not 2 already. So it's just not for me. Wouldn't recommend it. Key tool. I loved using key tools in my last 2 wipes. This wipe, I've never used one. I find them completely useless, actually, and all they are good for is really storing keys and quick selling. They're just not as useful as they used to be for some reason. I feel like people have just adapted to the sick case meta, and it's just a lot more efficient being able to put keys, dog tags, and some other miscellaneous stuff in. It just doesn't work for me. But at the beginning of wipe, if you're farming dorms or something for those keys, having that extra slot in your gamma or your alpha is definitely very helpful. If you're playing on a standard account, the key tool is a great item. As for the barter, we have 30 items here, and they're all kind of, inconvenient to get. The NACLs or the NaCl and the H2O2 are okay, but finding the chlorine is actually a pain in the ass. So doing this, it's worth it on the barter, in my opinion. I think you need NaCls for some other stuff early on, along with the H2O2. But if you can find 10 chlorines, go ahead and save up for this one. If you can't find the chlorines, I wouldn't buy them. I wouldn't worry about it. It's not really, a priority when it comes to purchasing that. Lucky Scav Junk Box, probably the most important item early wipe. Getting one of these to store your barter items in so you can start upgrading your hideout a little bit more efficiently is one of the biggest things. And what I do every single wipe is I didn't have the craft available to me last wipe, so we'll talk about that. But what I did is as soon as I got Therapist to, I think it's level 2, yeah, I bought one. Getting 100 tags at, level 10 or higher at the beginning of wipe, just, you can't wait that long. It's too much work. So buying one for 2 million, I'm all over that. I buy them every single time. And I've never crafted them before. And mainly because crafting them just takes too long. And we'll talk about that. But right here, this is your best bet. Buying it for 2 million. Just get it out of the way. Get that extra space. Get back on the grind. And you'll be good to go. It'll be worth it. Trust me. Now, if the prices start this low in the flea market for people crafting them, 100% buy them at the 1.3. 100%. But they just won't. They won't be this low. They'll be well over 2 million. Magazine cases. This one's kind of optional, and the reason these ones are going to be extremely expensive at the beginning of wipe is because they're used in a lot of crafts. Mainly the Lucky Scab junk box is going to be the main thing there. A lot of people are going to want those early on, so these are going to skyrocket in price. I'm going to say probably 700, 800k a piece. Probably will come down after undercutting, but it's one of those where I don't think you really need mag cases too early in the game. If you play a lot more rattier like me, even being a Chad, I like to play as a rat at the beginning just to get my maximum amount of profit to level up my hideout that much faster. Mag cases are not really needed. So this is one of those things you can kind of wait on, and it'll come to you. You just got to craft one when you need it. Med cases. You find these in the marked room a lot. You do find the mag cases. I don't find them nearly as much anymore, but med cases I find a lot, and they are very, very cheap right now. I would definitely recommend them. If you can get 2 or 3 of these right away, then you're going to be good to go. And you're going to really appreciate that extra space the med case gives you because you want to constantly have IFAKs, Salewas, all that stuff on you. Heals are extremely important early wipe. That makes med cases extremely important. I'd say these will probably go to around 700,000 at the beginning of wipe, and that's probably where we'll be sitting on that. But they will go down eventually. I think there's a couple barters for them. Let's check those out. So 500k, just direct buy, and then there's a 16 one here. Some blood sets, some syringes, and 2 Vaselines. This is a very good trade right here. Very good barter. So if you can grind these out, find these items within the first couple days, I would definitely recommend doing the barter. It's definitely an efficient one and definitely worth it in my opinion. So next one is going to be the money case. I'm going to be dropping a video before this one releases. Like I said, I don't know when I'm dropping this video, but this is a really important item in the game, especially early, because you want to just be able to stack the money up. You want to be able to have it not cluttering your stash, just get it put away. If you can find one in the marked room, that's the best way to do it. But having a money case, just one, you don't need 100 of them. You're not going to be that rich right away, but having one money case is actually very, very nice, very efficient, and not a lot of hassle to have. So if you can go ahead and grab one of these for, maybe the barter over on Therapist or out of the marked room, that's going to be great, but I would not purchase one early wipe. Now, the barter for this is going to be those 2 rollers, farm customs, farm the mannequin for them. Easiest way. Gold skulls are easy. 5 gold change, extremely easy to get. All you got to worry about is the rollers. If you can find 2 of them, you're good to go. We got the Thermo Bag. This is probably, in my opinion, going to be one of the more important cases to get. And if you can find people selling them for extremely cheap, I would buy them. I would actually buy like 3 or 4 of these if this was the beginning of wipe pricing right now. And the reason for this is because of some hideout stuff that has made it extremely plausible to give therapists the trade for the thick case. The thick case being, I think it's 50 moonshine, 35 whiskey, and 30 vodka, I think it is actually doable now. And we'll talk about that, but you need a lot of space for all those drinks, so that's why the thermal bags would come in handy. I'm going to be farming the shit out of food this wipe, and I'm going to be playing a lot of woods, and I plan on having probably 6 or 7 thermal bags. And if I can really, really grind out this wipe, I would love to have a thick case of just food, just thermal bags. So that's kind of my goal for 12.11, to really focus on the metabolism skill early and get it completely maxed out and right away. And I will be good to go on that. So we'll kind of touch back on that one a little bit. Pistol cases are extremely important. You get 2 right away from a task, and they're really, really nice. You can actually put weapon attachments in here, I believe. You can put, let's just see here. I know you can put ammo in here, which makes them extremely important early on. So it's essentially a small little ammo case for you guys. Can you put the weapon attachments in? You cannot. You can put magazines, ammo, and you can put pistols in them. So the magazines and ammo part is actually what I use them for. I don't use them for pistols. I just don't care. So, you know, that's what it is. That's all it is, really. That's why it's so important when it comes to doing that. You know, these will be really cheap still at the beginning of wipe. I think you can buy them from Fence pretty easily if you try hard enough, but they'll be like 80K at the beginning. It's a nice little investment, if I gotta be honest. They make things a little bit more convenient. The only sucky part, you can't put them in items cases, so keep that in mind. Thick items case. These have been bought out recently. I mean, a lot of people buying these because they're super cheap, but it's the most important item in the game. It's pretty self-explanatory. It gives you a shit ton of space. It really is the most important item. Whether you want to be sloppy with it or super organized. I have a problem. Look at this. It's so sloppy. Please stop looting. It's a little bit better, but in here, just a bunch of shit everywhere. All right, those ones aren't as bad, but it's just shit everywhere. Overflow. Bunch of shit. My bullet factory. It's a bunch of stuff. Guns on weapons attachments on guns and everything, man. Like, I'm set. And that's why thick cases are so important. Like, you have unlimited space, essentially, man. You know, with backpack stacking and all the other shit that you can throw into all of this stuff, man, is just, like, incredible. Thick cases are the best item in the game because of how many additional cases can go inside of them. And early on in wipe, they will be around 13, 14, 15 million. That's the best time to buy them. The more you grind early, the better off you'll be late game. And thick cases, most important. And when it comes to the barter trades for them, the LEDX trade has been a little bit more inconvenient to get this wipe. But this trade right here is very, very plausible. We'll be hopping into the hideout here shortly. This is a long-ass video, so hopefully you guys appreciate all the information, man. This is definitely one worth the watch. I guarantee it. It'll help you out in the long run. This is a lot more affordable and doable this next wipe coming up because of some of the additional crafts that were added in 12.10. Right here, 15 defibs, 15 leadies, 15 ibuprofens, and 15 toothpaste. It's doable, but very inconvenient. You have to run the shit out of that med closet. That's actually a key I had in the first week of wipe, and I was doing, I think it was up to like 8 LEDXs, just got bored, didn't want to do it anymore, so I sold all the LEDXs, and that was it. I didn't do it this wipe, but it is doable if you desperately need that thick case, and if you are grinding those hatchet runs. So, the next one is going to be the thick weapons case. One of the other most useless cases in the game. There's no reason to do this. We have the amount of space that you get from them. Maybe having one in your stash, but it's always a sell for me. Usually you can get probably 8, 9 million for them, but they're going up a little bit. But you guys can see you get this much space, but you can't put it in a thick case. So would you rather have that much space, or would you rather do what I do and get a shit ton of weapons cases and just do this? It's just so much more efficient when it comes to your space. So doing that is definitely the route you want to head. The last and final one is going to be the weapon case. Don't pay flea market prices. I have a video on this. Super cheap weapon cases. Don't pay flea market prices. Just look that up. Essentially, all you're doing is taking advantage of the barter trade and the items required for it. There's no reason to do weapon case on the flea market. Just stack them up. Get one every single restock for extremely cheap. And I will have a weapon case army just like I do this wipe and the next wipe. The last and final case that I can think of, if there's any other ones I missed, I do apologize, but it's going to be the sick case. One of the best cases in the game, definitely, for your Gamma. 12 paracord. Paracord will be extremely cheap when it comes to the flea market, so pick up your 12 right away. Nails will also be very cheap, maybe like 20k, so pick up all 15. The tapes will come naturally. Pick up your main core items. Wait on it. Wait till you hit, I think it's max loyalty. It's not. It's 3. So loyalty level 3 on Jaeger. Pick up that sick case. I think that's like level 20, high 20s, low 30s. So it'll be a little bit, but once you get the paracord and nails, you're good to go on that one. So that one will come pretty naturally. It's very, very worth it. Going into the hideout now. Damn, 20 minutes on the recording. I don't know how much I'm cutting out, but this is a long one for sure. Voice is starting to go out on me, so we'll try and wrap this one up pretty quickly. But getting some additional cases here. So let's talk about that thick case again. We have a little bit easier of a time when it comes to actually getting these. So you're going to have to grind out the boost generator. It's going to take you at least 2 months to go ahead and get a thick case from doing these trades. Unless you want to buy some moonshine. But you're going to have to do your trades. You're going to have to do all your upgrades in your hideout and then start grinding out the moonshine. You need 50 of these motherfuckers. And I think it's like every 8 to 10 hours you can get a moonshine. Depending on the amount of purified water you're pumping out and the amount of sugar you're finding. You can get these pretty damn quick. And you can knock out your vodkas within 3 moonshines. The water you can just buy. So you can get 30 vodka very, very quickly. There's actually a lot of vodka spawns already in the game. But is very nice. But you're going to need some of that vodka to make some of the whiskey. But the nice thing is the chocolate bars are going to be cheap early wipe. I would recommend stocking up an entire thermo bag of these, maybe even more. And then the teas are going to be relatively cheap as well. You can find these for probably 30K on a maximum, and you can make 3 whiskey out of that. And doing these crafts is not only going to level up your hideout, but it's also going to get you that much closer to getting that thick case. So essentially, all you're going to need is the moonshine, which is actually pretty cheap at the beginning of a wipe. You might be surprised. So grinding that out, possibly killing Killa, and grinding his safe room would also be a good, efficient method there. But, you know, getting the thick case off of the alcohol trait is very, very doable this wipe. So let's talk about the lavatory, man. Some of the cases in here are going to be extremely, extremely important. The Lucky Scav Junk Box, having 3 magazine cases is your only setback there. They take 5 hours a piece. It's going to be 15 hours there. It's going to take you, you know, about a day and 2 hours to actually crank everything out. You're looking at a total of 6 fuels. You're going to need 6 of these things. And I don't know how on earth you're going to get 6 of these in the first week, unless they buff the fuel again. You're going to need, like, what is this? You're going to need 4 metal cutting scissors. You're going to need a shit ton of bolts, probably around 20 of them. And then the same thing goes for the screws. You're going to need at least 9 screws. And then you're going to need 3 Keck tape. You're just going to need a lot of stuff. And if you can get all that stuff right away, that's great. But you also have to level up the lavatory and the rest of the hideout. And that's what really stops you there. You know, for additional scav junk boxes, it's great. It's great to do. But other than that, man, it's just really hard to get those cases that way. You have fuels here. We're going to be talking about the grenade case next. I think this is a really efficient trade, a really efficient craft. These items are pretty damn easy to get. And once you kind of expend these fuel, you know, you can get flechette rounds with them. There's not much else. So crafting a grenade case is actually really, really efficient in my opinion. And that's going to be it for the cases. You know, a very, very long video. Hopefully you guys appreciate the information I tried to give you guys here today. I'm sure I missed a lot of points and stuff I wanted to talk about, but I tried to nail everything around the head and be quick about it. So, guys, if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments. I will answer them for you. I'm probably going to wait till a little bit closer to wipe. You know, whether that is this Thursday, a couple Thursdays from now, maybe near May 20th, May 27th, whenever it is. I'll have this video on standby, ready to go. Probably going to drop it during the pre-wipe event, just because I don't know if I'll have enough content ready at that point, and this will be the best time to drop it. So, if you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for new sponsors in the equipment description below. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm out.